Hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. All right, we should be good to go now. Otherwise, I don't know what's going to happen. All right, we're back. I honestly am fed up with all this stuff that just isn't working, but that's fine. We're not here to complain. We're here to bloody have a good time. And I just want to throw chat down the bottom there. All right, chat should be here as well. All right, behind the scenes is not as exciting as you may think. Shush that thing, how we doing? Thumb guns, what's happening? Anna, Travis, Scruffzy, Julia, Artistic, Spartan. Okay, now I've just got to go live on Instagram, which I was already ready to go on Instagram, but shit happens. Alright, we'll call it Stylized Art Study. Okay, we need an emoji, of course. Audience, public, bam. Okay. Copy that. Throw it in here. Whip it in. 3, 2, 1. Okay. And that should be that. Problem with your setup? Learn coding. Coding can't help me with the hardware stuff. Duncan, what's happening? Great to have you. Okay, let's go live. All right. So today, I'm just going to do some digital stuff because I've been having issues, as you've seen, with the setup. So until I get that all hunky dory, I reckon the best thing to do is not waste anyone's time, and let's get straight to it. All right, can Instagram hear me? Instagram, let me know if you can hear me, please. Let me know if you can hear me. This is a test. This is a test. This is a real stream, but this is just me testing to see if the microphone is working. And there's a bit of a lag. So I just want to do some sketches and stuff today, right? We'll do some color. I do want to warm up though. See, yes, beautiful in all the languages. All right. Let's get up my reference that I had earlier. We'll keep with the pattern of cars to begin with, I think. I think that would be acceptable. I think that would be a decent idea. All right, so now let's go. Okay, it's all set up. Beautiful, beautiful. Also, a note on the Filthy plugin. There are some UI issues. We're well aware of that. Thank you everyone for letting us know. Just with an update with Photoshop. I'm catching up with Francis in the next day or so, and we'll knock that out. So don't you worry about that. It'll be sorted. So let me get this here. All right. No. Okay. Whew. So I've finished my first gouache page, or like just the page that I dedicated to study, which I'm pretty happy with. Oh, I like that. That's cool. Okay. This one. I like this. I think we can play around with the composition, or maybe not the composition. There's just some stuff going on here that I think will be good to get my juices flowing. All right, we're lagging and we're going all over the place. Everyone, I need all of your artistic support right now for the tech gods, just to let this stream happen, because I was really looking forward to it. But we're struggling. Okay. All the connections in. All right. That's in time. Oh my gosh. Prashan, what's happening, man? Lighty draws 1000%. Valley Bay poggers, gouaches. Ah. There's got to be like some. I might have to just draw it in and just paint straight up like that. All right, let's try that. Because I've been doing traditional, I think that would work fine. This is a professional stream, so just work, please. All right. Okay, so let's get cracking with it. And I've got the wrong aspect ratio. This is going to be a struggle, isn't it? Fucking hell. Okay. Let's just get a straight up normal brush, whatever that is to you. No smoothing, just bam, bam, bam. All right. don't want much transfer. I want to see if we can just throw the shapes in. Whatever which way. Right, so we'll just whip them in there and we'll get cracking. All right, everyone, I don't have the timer up because I think that script was messing with OBS. So we're gonna be on the honor system. I'll get my phone. Oh, it's all happening, I'll tell you what. Stopwatch, okay, so we got timer for 15 minutes. Okay. And we'll start on the count of 3. 3, go. All right, let's start with the background. Bleu. Sacré bleu. Now there's kind of a concept that doing the more traditional stuff has really helped me understand, which is kind of working from the middle out, right? So without any context, that doesn't mean a whole lot, but what it means to me, sorry, my brain is, can only focus on one thing. Ben, that's cheating. Restart your engine. And my music stopped. Oh, my lanta. Of course it has. There we go. And we're back. Okay, so just blocking in these colors, right? I'm not worried about values to begin with. So that's the idea of sort of working from, I guess, the middle out. So we're working mid-range values, I guess you could say. Nothing super descriptive like light and shadow wise, right? But okay, that's kind of the shape I want. Really just sort of stupidly exaggerated. Okay, so these are the simple shapes I'm starting with. Let's add a bit of that road in there. Just something. Now, yeah, the middle out. I'm still trying to, what's the word? Synthesize. Or like try and understand what I'm talking about. Like try and like to figure out how to explain what I mean by like middle out. But hopefully by just showing can be helpful. Might even hop into Critter afterwards to see if the jankiness is going to help. All right, so it's like really flat basic colors, right? Starting with the flats, I guess you could say. Prashan, great question. At this point, do you already see / know the concept, or are you figuring out as you go? I have like a fuzziness. I don't see the concept. I just feel like a fuzziness. right? And I'm just throwing in some pretty vibrant colors to begin with because I really want to, 2024 and onwards is the time for color and real massive pops of color. All right, let's work within this car shape. Let's see. And even just these little experiments with gouache, they're influencing my digital stuff for sure, like without a doubt. Like even throwing down shapes and line, and I'm just getting more confident. I might even, this might, like the traditional stuff might be a catalyst for doing more Procreate streams or like on the iPad sort of stuff. That could be cool. All right, let's think about this. And going from doing like a lot of gouache stuff recently to digital, it's like, oh, the freedom I've got, holy shit. Like I can just go opaquely over whatever. Don't have to wait for drying. But that could be at the detriment to a lot of stuff as well. To the actual drawing itself, because I've got no constraints. I might be more tempted to noodle on the details. There's got to be something wrong here. Is it the tablet? Is that not playing nice? I don't know. Alright, so there's like a house in the background, but again, this all comes down to values, right? All down to values. Everything, values, values, values. So yeah, where was I? Middle out, right? So it's like looking at the middle sort of values and really allowing myself to sort of whip in some color variation, you know? Like even if I select the sky here, I'm trying to magic wand the blue. No, 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 no. Off. Let's get a bit of that gradient in here. And also this is helping me pick the correct values without doing a whole lot of blending as well. And to keep it more interesting, every sort of value shift or value step, I want to kind of change the hue a little bit as well, but like manually. Okay. So even, this is where I want to use a filthy, but Photoshop is not playing nice. The little scumbag. But I don't know for sure if it's Photoshop, so I take that back. I could be the little scumbag. And the background, one thing I've been finding with traditional, the background is almost just as important about like for the piece as like the focal point, right? Obviously that's all very dependent on what the subject matter is, blah, blah, blah. But like this, as soon as I do something like this, for example, where I add more values into say the foreground here and the background and that kind of thing, it gives context, right? So now this starts to look like it's sitting on the road or on something that's been lit. And when we start modeling, how's the timer going? You just got to trust me here. Okay. Apparently, I don't know if I've pressed it or not, so we're just going to keep going. It is what it is. We get a free non-timed warm-up session this session. Thank you to the technical difficulties. Because no way that was 15 minutes. Dazzling, what's happening? Super, welcome. All right, so I'm just adding in some of these real like poppy, vibrant oranges that I see. And as I start to add these values, the context starts to appear. So it's almost like adding the variation first, the color and the interest to give you a base to then add, to set it in reality, right? To set it in the scene with the values and all that sort of stuff. Have I ever done board game art? I haven't. I have not. Would I ever? Never say never. Now, I'm also thinking about the context here of the scene. Like, yeah, we got really poppy colors and all that sort of stuff, but it's like, all right, we got a bright blue sunny day. So that's going to skew a lot of these reflective materials to the blue, particularly in the shadows, right? So I might make these rims. And some of you might be thinking, like, do your character stuff, you know? Like, this might just be in my head. I don't know if I'm just making this up in my head. But I feel like there's people like, oh, he's doing the cars again. Just fucking do your characters. Shut up and draw. But all this is helping me with the character stuff. Like, a lot. Plus, it's bloody good fun. Plus, there will be a day where I need to draw a character inside a car, on a car. And I'm going to be prepared. It'll be glorious. So really just giving indications of the wheels here. That's another thing, editing. What needs to be in here and what doesn't? What's the essential parts that makes this car look like this car? Then you could translate that exactly over to characters. what are the essential parts of the character that makes it look like that character, particularly if you're trying to get likeness as well. You don't want to add everything. All right, now what I was talking about with the blue, I'm learning a lot about color mixing as well, and color theory, because it's just happening straight, like right in front of me with mixing the colors. So here, this orange, if I were to try to cool this orange down, right? I would add blue and maybe a little bit of red. So what I might do, it's just different in digital though, but I would just like move the slider ever so slightly, and that's kind of like a good translation. And now you've got a bit of that reflection of the blue skylight. Right, and we can increase that a lot because it's not going to be blue. If you look at it in isolation, it'll be like a different sort of pinky purpley sort of, but like it'll be like dulled down quite a lot. And also squinting down a lot helps a ton. Lighting draws is a good idea, but I'm trying to just do it without opacity and not sort of have the crutch of having the colors mix together, and I want to keep the vibrancy here and just lay down the values that I want, or the colors that I want. Same. But I mean, I'm not touching anything and the thing's going nuts. So we'll see how we go with this. And oftentimes the thing doesn't come together until you start adding some of these darker accents. For example, like if we do one step closer, zooming wise. Oh, and there's also so far you can zoom in as well in real life. Like you can get up really close, but it doesn't help at all. What I do have to do here is add this in. You see how I'm like grouping these as well? Grouping the shadows together, or like the darker colors. They're not a part of the same object. But what we can do is we can pull them out. We can shift the color or the value or both to sort of delineate these two. For example, if I wanted to really show the depth of these shadows in here, I can just do this. Right, and then just maybe a line underneath there. Right, and then that starts to show the difference between materials. Oh, I love traditionals. I'm in love with traditional, I'll tell you what. The Blue Muzzy. As primarily a character artist, are you deterred from creating detailed background environments? No, that fascinates me. I'm not deterred, I just haven't spent the time on them. or as much time as I have with character stuff. One artist that I absolutely admire like crazy is Rob Ruppel, or Ruppel. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Never met the guy. But his stuff, like he worked on like the Spider-Verse and but it's very like geometric. Very, very sort of geometric. But it looks real. Like it's nuts. I love it. So I really like, that's a big inspiration, even for this kind of stuff. Even for this kind of stuff is just, how do we make something look like, one, stylize it, because I like doing that. And two, how do we make it look believable? Because I could do abstract art all day long. Probably not actually. There's definitely like stuff I would not know anything about with abstract, so I take that back. But I could make this just like a blob of colors and it looks like nothing. But the thing that gets me interested is like, I don't know, how do you make it look like the thing without being very explicit with it and being like a slave to the reference? That is like ultimate freedom. Rob Ruffles. Hi, can I get your brushes? You can get this brush I'm using. I don't have any brushes that is particularly fancy. You can just go on my Gumroad. My mic volume is small. Let's see if we can just fix that by getting it closer to my mouth hole. All right, super. The plan is going to be this warm-up, having fun with this warm-up, seeing how much that my traditional study has affected or influenced, let's say, my digital stuff so far. It's gonna be an ever-evolving thing. And I'm just going to do it just like traditional. I'm going to merge this whole thing down like a crazy person. All right, we're on one layer. And I'm about to become a crazy person if Photoshop doesn't play nice with me. Okay. So I want to squint down, start to add some of this foliage in the background. Also, I always forget this guy's name. From the backgrounds, I think I shared this on stream a while ago. He has like super vibrant like backgrounds, but they're detailed, but they're not. Like, it's very cool. I can't remember his. Once I'm done with this, I'll whip him up on the screen. Ah, thank you. What's the best shape? Alberto Miega. Oh, that sounds familiar. I'm sure, Prashant. You know your stuff. I'm just terrible with names with artists. I know their art. You show me their art. I'm like, oh, yep. I know that one. But apart from that, unless I've met them, usually. Rob Ruppel. Oh, sorry, Thumb Guns. Yeah, Rob Ruppel. Or Ruped. All right, so I'm just squinting down because there's just some abstract shapes in the background here. And I reckon I'm going to try and crack open Critter after this to see if that changes at all. Seeing how we can just do very simple shapes. And the interesting part is about doing, I'm just waxing poetic about bloody traditional work, but I love it. I'm starting to look around more. Like when I'm driving, I'm like, oh, that'd be a cool painting. Oh, that'll be interesting. Oh, that's nice lighting. And I've started to like even bring my camera around and like think like, oh, could I do something with this? Could I? Oh, that'll be an interesting study. That blue looks fascinating. Like I sound. Oh God, what was that? Let's go audio input capture. Let's crank that up a little bit louder so you can hear me properly. Hear my rambles clearer. If they are super Italian names. Okay, now with the foliage in the background, there's warmth there. So what I would probably do is get this green and I would mix a little bit of yellow in there, and I want to increase the value ever so slightly. So I'd whip a bit of yellow down, and depending on how green I want this, I might add a little bit more red, but then that could potentially kill it. So it's add a bit of red. Oh no, that wouldn't kill it. The opposite. So more like the purples would probably kill it. And make it grey. When I say kill it, I mean like make it more on the grey side of things. Please tell me that you drive a car that has a very slanted roof like this. I do. Are you going to bring a small stand with a sketchbook along like James Gurney? Potentially. Maybe we do in plain air streams. Maybe. Go to one of my favourite places on earth, which is the Adelaide Botanical Gardens. Yeah, the Adelaide Botanical Gardens. Oof. Something about that place. Okay, let's squint our eyes. And figure out how to make this look a little bit more interesting. See, this is kind of how I'd block it in traditional. Now, I'm looking for contrast areas as well, right? So for example, these rocks back here, I don't have to add these rocks. It works well without the rocks. But if I want to add them in, this is a good place to add the indication of them because there's contrast. But I think they actually take away from it, so I reckon I'll just leave them. I'll leave them out. And because the glass is see-through, we might want to grab a bit of this color here. And because there's blue reflection on the back part here, the shadow looks like there's a dog in the car. Ah, I can see that. I can see that. I also want to do a series of like dinosaurs in environments. I know that's not like an original thing, but that could be fun. All right, let's go one step zoomed in and let's take a look at what we can do with this car. Might even drag and drop the car here so I can have a sneaky peek. And let's bring this together. Let's tie it all in and and finish it up. I really need to get some poppy colors with my gouache. Like just get like some turquoises. What's the plural for multiple turquoises? Turkeys? Terrible joke. Terrible. If you mute me, I won't be offended. Sketchy, what's happening? Dino sleeping near the car, yeah. Oh, you know the trend of design faces in random shapes? What about the same for vehicles? Fantastic idea, Sunguns. Add a dino to this, it would be perfect. Maybe at the end, maybe as a cooldown. We'll see how we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. Turquoises. All right, I'm gonna squint down. Squint down. We've missed this part here. Let's add some color to these ties. Just a little bit of something. I also would like to even do some like 3D sculpting, say like in Blender, right? Create a character, light them in Blender, then use that as reference for a painting. That would be a challenge and a half. That car is looking wonky in the best way, thank you. Oh, I don't know what's going on with the old Instagram. Don't forget the air freshener. I won't. I will not. See, because that's a little detail that adds to it. So I can just be like, wah. It's something in the mirror. Now, if I'm squinting down, I would like to darken this down just a tad on this side. I would also just like the music to continue playing. Let's do some jazz. Let's try that. Or not. Also, because I'm using a different microphone, you may be able to hear my stomach grumbling. My apologies if you do. I'd ride down the city in that stylish car. Me too. I would love to. When I have the money, I want like, I'm not a car guy, really. I've never been a car guy. But I'd want like weird eclectic cars. Or like I'd customize different cars. One day. But I'd want them safe though, because I'd be very concerned about that. So I would like make old cars and like maybe like electrify them. Then add all the airbags and stuff and all the safety features and power steering and whatever. Now, edges are a huge thing as well. Just cleaning up that edge brings a lot to it. Even just cleaning that top of the roof up. Why aren't street legal Hot Wheels cars available for purchase? Oh, this is a challenge with just. I'm gonna swap over. I'm gonna swap over to. This isn't jazz. To Critter after, I think, to see if that changes it, and that'll see if it's a technical issue or Photoshop issue. I mean, technically they're both technical issues. Now this could quite easily be like the plane of a cheek or whatever. I'm thinking of things in the abstract. This needs to be a little bit bluer. All right. Maybe we come back to this as a cool down and add some stuff to it. I would like to do the panel lines though. Rachel, how you doing? I thought it was my stomach. My apologies, the setup today is not ideal. Too sensual. No, 280 sensual. 280 sensual. 260 sexy. Too cheesy. Come on. Hip hop. There we go. Let's try that. Yeah, that'll do. Now with these panel lines, is not just going to be a dark line all the way, like all the time. The light's going to catch on like the lip of that. Putting on the Ritz. I feel like if we're playing that kind of music, like everything's got to be in black and white. It's like a value study session. All right, we zoom out. Lots that I'd want to do with it. Let's tweak some of these values here. Not to be so egregious with the color, but just something. And in the direction. of the red. Okay, I think we come back to this after. It's a good little color warm up. Let's get to sketching. So I want to sketch some people. I think that'll be a good idea. Catch that if I'm guns. How long will the stream go? About 2 or 3 hours, something like that. See how we go. What I'd really like to see you do is sculpt a character in Blender, then paint over it with grease pencil similar to, oh yeah, that's something that I've been looking into. New Jabes in the background. Yeah, I would love to add non-licensed music in the background. That'd be lovely. Can I do gestures? Yeah, let's try that. I haven't done that in a little while. Let's give that a whirl, shall we? Good suggestion. All right, the only difference that I'm gonna do to this same brush, it's the long skinny line. Nude Jabes. Thumb guns, I thought your battery was going flat. Maybe I've got too many tabs open. New Jabby. Maybe I close that. Does that do anything? Yeah, maybe the tabs are the issue. Okay. Actually, Critter. Let's whip open Critter to see if there's any difference there. A man of culture. Whipping open Critter. Okay. Wrong, I don't want that one. New. That's quite a large canvas. Let's go 3400 by 5400, something like that. Doesn't really matter. All right, how is this? It's just as janky. It's even more janky, so you can get out of here. No, Photoshop it is. All right, let's go to our Pinterest. So I've got a stream. Stream figure reference. Board, which should be linked in the description. That's a cool pose. All right. I don't even do anything. Okay. Terrific art. Thank you so much. Thanks for popping in. Okay, is everything stable? Probably not. All right, let's just do some little gestures. So what I'm seeing here is like this, like S curve, right? Like that kind of deal. Are you using macOS Sonoma? I've heard there's problems with that. Ooh, that could be it actually. Maybe it's an operating system thing. It's not all my gear. It's just Mac. Doing Mac things. So this is what I'm really like. This is really what I'm seeing here. Is that just line. Right, so what I'm gonna do, maybe I just whip that in. That kind of, just bam, bam. All right, then knock that back. I don't need to do this, but I don't know. I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm gonna add the head. Just that indication of the ear helps a ton. Now, I have not done figure stuff in a while. Maybe actually that's going this way than this. I think the curve has got to be a bit different. The curve's going this way. Something like that. So she's like, I'm picking the... What's she got? She's in like the yogurt section by the looks of it. Or the dip section. I'm choosing the avocado dip. Big jacket. So there's our little, now she's off balance, right? So we need to kick that leg back with like boots. Keep cool, keep cool, keep cool. Technology is your friend. So that's kind of what I'm seeing from a gesture standpoint. What the fuck? Thumb guns, I know, right? I think there's a little bit of a translation issue there. Not my feet, the reference's feet. How's the resin process going? Yeah, good. It's going good. I fixed the issue with, yeah, I'll just throw her next to her. So you can see the reference right there. Yeah, I read that wrong. that request for changing the whatever it is, the reference. My bizzle. Okay, so knock it back and let's just play with shapes. Let's just have a bloody good time, chill, chat, and play with shapes. That's it on this beautiful Monday morning, Sunday for some of you. Show feed guy going undercover. Yeah, it's just a translation issue. It wasn't. That's not what they meant. It caught me off guard. I was like, ooh, all right. But then the business side of my brain was like, business opportunity? I mean, this could be actually a cool painting even. Figure out how to stylize this a little bit. And then play like I did here with the really poppy sort of colors. I think that could be fun. How's it feel to be in the future over here in America? It's still Sunday. Yeah, it's very annoying, particularly if you're trying to have meetings. Time zones suck. Time zones are very, very annoying. I'm using translation. I hope I haven't made such a foot fantasy organ. Oh, you crazy kids. Sketchy squirrel. Fantastic. Was the translator wrong? So no, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. It was my interpretation. You're okay. Don't worry about it. You're absolutely fine. maybe we mess with the jacket a bit. It's like every move I make right now, Photoshop's just threatening to crash. Slowly move her over. That's all I want. Slowly, please. Thank you. Okay. Back to where we were. So I'm just refining some of the shapes a little bit. You can't see the car. I'm not sure what that is actually, to be honest. There's a car. If you want to see the full thing, the people on Instagram, I'm on YouTube for the full experience. Now I've got to think about the horizon line a little bit as well. So this might be like about where the horizon is. So we'd see a little bit at the top of her feet, the top of the shoes here. Let's move. Thank you. Okay. This is actually, it's just terrible from like a drawing experience, how like choppy it is, but it does actually, if we look at the silver linings, it makes me think more about each brush stroke. I'm not sure. Okay. Let's merge these guys down. Cool. Maybe when there's more room around on the picture, but would you consider annotating your references drawings with how you're approaching and seeing things? That's a fantastic idea, actually. Let's knock... I mean, if everything was working silky smooth on my end, like technology-wise, that could help. But here, I'm just looking at the really, like the actual simplest shapes possible, right? I want head direction. So this little side profile is kind of what I'm thinking about here. You can kind of see that with the large shape. And then if we're going for the similar sort of hair thing, I'm seeing like a triangle with that on top. And that's kind of what I've got here. Like a wonky sort of triangle with that on top. And that gives a lot of direction. And then when we come in a bit closer, this is where I'm just going to invent. I've got a foundation down. Flip the canvas. We've got her bangs here. I'm thinking a little bit about expression, because that's going to dictate, like she's kind of looking at something, you know. Where do you find the link to the board? That'll be on YouTube in the description of the live right now. Melody Love, how you doing? Joa Vitor, welcome. Great to have you. Now with the neck, this neck is connecting back here to like the base of the skull. Even though she's stylized, right? I really still want to think about that pivot point of the neck. Like oftentimes it's going to have like a swoop back, particularly because she's looking down at something. So I really want to make sure that I capture that. What tablet am I using? All that stuff is in the description. You can check that out. Oh, how frustrating this thing is. Man, it's kind of weird. Let's play with the jacket. Make it quite a bit larger than what it is. That's just me having fun with it. So I guess that's what, like, starting with a gesture does, is it just gives you a foundation to then build on top of. So let's knock this back again. And see if we can get some of these lines a little more finalized. Well, not finalized, but cleaner. HD, thank you. Melody, appreciate you. Navda Kapoor, I just joined your live for the first time on Instagram. I was wondering why I couldn't see all the comments or the description. Nah, you're fine. You're all good. Welcome. Cyclone Dusky, I used to hate it, but now I'm so glad I chose an 8:30 a.m. uni class because I can join your live streams afterwards. Oh, fantastic. I'm having a good morning. I hope your uni class was good. Now, sometimes what I'll do as well is I'll rotate the canvas. So I've got a little bit of a more structured look at things. Now, one thing with profiles, I don't like how that eye's looking. One thing with profiles is, whoa, the nose comes past. It breaks that line in here, generally speaking. Maybe she's like just finished from work. She's tired. Just trying to find something to eat quickly so that she can get home and just crash. Now I know that there's a plane here as well, so I've got to keep that in mind if we're going to color her or shade her in any way. Mixter, you absolute legend. Always coming in clutch. Thank you very much. Appreciate you popping in, my friend. Corn or popcorn? Why not have both? How is it that my gesture drawing looks immediately better than how I've been practicing for weeks? That happens. Sometimes when I feel like I get better at sort of an art thing, or anything really, like even like drums, like learning the drums has been kind of like an eye-opening thing. I'll practice and I'll practice and I'll practice and I just can't get it and I just can't get it. And then one day the muscle memory just sort of clicks in and it just works. And I'm like, oh shit. But it wouldn't have happened without all of those annoying days of not getting it, if that makes sense. And that's true with anything, I think, at least I've found. Cyrus, fantastic. What are you painting? Welcome. Rahab, what are the name of your brushes you used on Photoshop? So this brush I'm just using is called Long Skinny Line. You can get it on my Gumroad for free. Go check that out at the link in the description below. Yes, not loving it, but it's what we're going to work with this glitchy computer I've got at the moment. Yeah, it must be the operating system. I think Thung Guns has it right because everything was working fine. But I did recently update everything, so. Just on the border of unusual, but for you guys, I'll keep powering through. So now I'm just really thinking about using some of a jacket shapes as reference here. So hopefully next week we will be technological difficulty free. Like a huge zipper on there. It's like someone's just coming and just like shaking the canvas every like 5 seconds. But we will power through. It's like all the improvement happens in the brain and then suddenly your hands can apply 1000%. And that happens with, so I've done a lot of study on like learning things and like habits and stuff. And a lot of like the consolidation happens when you sleep. So getting a good night's sleep is so important. Learning drums probably takes even more repetitive practice than drawing. I'd say about on par. But it's not even the actual doing the thing. It's like concepts. Like one of the things, say with drums, was the rebound. Getting that, like once I figured out that I don't have to like da 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 da, you can let the drumstick go like da 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 da. It's the same as like here. When I realized that I didn't have to do everything exactly the same as the reference, and I can like throw a line down in the general area and build on top of things. It's like you just have these little aha moments, and I'll forever keep having them, you know. Which is the fun part. Because if you just figured it out, then it's like, what's the point of doing it? I'll never figure this stuff out 1000%. Which is exciting. Guillemets Joven. Thank you very much. Thanks for popping in. Finally caught a stream. I think you might be one of my favorite artists ever. Oh man, thank you so much. That really means a lot. That's what you get for using Apple instead of Windows or Linux. True. Sketchy. True. Hey, actually Apple. I'm an Apple fanboy. Actually, no, not true. I love Apple. How dare you? For sketching, Procreate for me better than Photoshop, but coloring better in Photoshop. Yeah, look, for me, I like doing things that's like software agnostic, meaning like it doesn't matter what you use. Some things are more efficient, yes, but I like to know that I could get a similar or the same result, or really just what I'm trying to achieve regardless of the software. Like if I popped into Krita right now, I could just pick up exactly where I left off. And that's the same to be said with traditional stuff as well. But no, everyone has their preferences, which makes sense. Aha moments like the band Aha? Exactly. Cyrus, trying to finish up an illustration for a competition. While I'm indulging realism for this, I'm learning a lot watching you, and will try something a bit loose for my next project. Fantastic. Absolutely nothing wrong with realism. It's what I did for a very, very, very long time. And still have elements of that, you know? See, it's slowly coming together. Dylan, how you doing? Saman Kucha, welcome. Super, the best tools are the ones you have. Bang on, my friend. Value Babe, when you listen to Andrew Huberman preach, sleep. Oh, the Hubes. That guy's great. He was a big part, actually, of me getting my shit together with sleep, which just changed everything. Getting up earlier or as soon as you wake up, whatever time, and getting outside and getting that sunlight in your eyes is huge. So massive for setting the rest of your week up. Hackish, if you're spamming, my friend, I'm not going to answer. Hakanushi, how long does it take you to finish? It really depends on the artwork. I might even, if Photoshop will allow me. I think a head tilt here might be in order. That's cool. Yep. I like it. Because in the eye, feels like it's more in line. Sketchy Gatto. Been waiting to watch your process in these streams for a while. I really adore this. I really adore your style, and I'm so glad I've been able to catch this stream. Your art and videos have really helped me with my own art. That's awesome. That's so awesome to hear. Thanks for popping in. See, even with a profile, like a side-on view, there's perspective. Perspective doesn't go away just because she's on the side. So you've got to think about the boots, le boot, right? And her feet, this foot is going backwards this way, and this one's sort of poking this way. This fucking thing, I swear to God. Navdar, I've developed this routine of waking up at 5 and doing a 10-minute yoga, then 30 minutes of a very loose gesture drawing to open up my hand and arms for the art for the day. That's great. That's a very good practice. Let's see if we can work in some brush work. Or like some more inking work, I should say. What have we got? Brush settings, shape dynamics. Let's allow it to go all the way to 0. Bill makes art. Hi Ben, I usually face some art blocks, like feeling I can't draw, and whenever I try to, I get poor results. Like, is it something okay? Or yeah, it's happens to me. It happens to me. Don't stress about them. It sucks. It really does suck, right? But whenever I'm having those days, there's a few things that I use. I'll look at other artists, get inspired, you know what I mean? Try not to get like annoyed that you're not as good as them or whatever. I'll try and get inspired, and then what I'll do is I'll just pick something small. So like prototype something small and see if I can get that instead of doing like a larger piece or like a big gesture or something like that. I'll just be like, all right, let's focus on some eyes today, or for the rest of the session or whatever. And try and finish off on like a positive note. What are my favorite artists? That's a tough question. There's so many. What I might do, because I get a lot of these questions, I might actually create a blog post of like, okay, the artists that I'm looking at now, you know, or like the artists that have inspired me in the last year or so, and just like update it consistently instead of repeating myself all the time. Yeah, the Huberman protocols, fantastic. Hakanushi, they're spamming. I can't do it. Sorry, my friend. Bill makes art, and I had another question. Like, is it really? It's really like though. It's really to start practice on backgrounds. So do I have? Okay, how do you draw backgrounds? You've just got to practice them. Like I've been doing like traditional stuff, right, with gouache on a small scale. Start small, start on a smaller scale. It's less intimidating and there's less like feeling of like, oh, it's so precious that I've got to like make it look good. No one has to see those bad ones. All right, so start small. Because if you don't start at all, you're not going to get better. That's guaranteed. But yeah, and make it fun as well. Like look at backgrounds and how people do backgrounds that you really admire. And get excited about it instead of daunted. Be like, oh, all right, let's try and figure this out. This one isn't as stylized as you usually go. Yeah, no, I don't know why actually. Maybe we need to change that. It's like slight. Oh, maybe just keep her as is. Yeah, this has got to be an operating system issue because I mean it's choosing the marquee tool out of nowhere. All right. So I think the earring could be cool just to show the gravity of like a head moving forward, like the earring would actually Dip forward a little bit. For Sean, or you can do a newsletter. True, I'm going to be ramping that back up very shortly. The newsletter. But it's going to be more bite-sized because, to be honest, I think I really bit off more than I could chew with like what I was putting out. Like it was a full essay sort of thing. So I reckon I might do more consistent, but just like little tips and tricks, little things that I found out that have helped me. Melody Love, no, not like a traditional art school. I studied industrial design at university and then dropped out after like a year. I'm just imagining like a light source, maybe top down. Also, I want to have a little bit of thickness here, like some of these little details in the jacket. Maybe the buttons are a little bit bigger. RT Tattoos, thank you so much. Leaks Art 1023, thanks for popping in. I appreciate it, super. Yeah, no, I'm it's a good observation. Like I didn't even realize, to be honest, and I'm like, yeah, it's not as like out there. There could be a fun little like juxtaposition with this being more of like a just day in the life kind of thing, but then having like poppy colors like this in there. Like if we were to color, I don't think I'll get to coloring it this stream. I've also seen, like I've been really analyzing a lot of pen, like inking artists, and they'll not just do the simple shapes, they will do that, but they'll also do, I'm not even sure how you call it. They're kind of like the whisper lines that I've talked about in the past, but they'll actually add just like real little hints of detail just in the right spot so as not to like overwhelm the whole piece. But it's like if I'm doing this pocket, right, I'll add in the shadow where her hand's going in the pocket, but then I'll add like maybe like a seam here It's not details though. It just adds a little bit to the believability. And the visual interest, to use a fancy art term. This is where I start fighting the tangents, yeah. I'm not even worried about them right now. I'm making sure that the overall thing is feeling correct. And even having a bit of consistency in the shadows is going to go a long way. Like these thicker lines underneath here, indicating that there's like contact. With the jacket here, some of these creases could be fun. That hand is huge. That's well, that thumb is anyway. A bit smaller. It's giving late 80s, 90s vibes. It is, isn't it? Yep, I agree. Let's make these beefy. Maybe too big. Maybe not. I don't know. Shoes always mess me up. They're such like an oblong sort of shape. Alright, what I might do, leave it here for a sec. And I will take a 5-minute break. Melody, I like it. Okay. Let's leave it there for a moment, and I'll see you in 5 minutes. right. We are back. Whew. Let's add some of these shadows in there. What I might like to do as well. So we might go for another 20 minutes, half hour sort of thing. Because I've got to get these plain Janes working. Speaking of, I might just do this now so we don't have to do a whole thing at the end. Plain Jane. Alright. Focus. Alright. She's dropping real soon. I don't know if you can even see that really well. Alright. Real quick glimpse, and then we can get back to the drawing. The pre-sale is going live by the end of this week. She's securely in there. Alright. I did a stream a couple of days ago where I actually made one of these. But, so you got the stylized side and then the plain side. Which I'm going to do, I think I'll do some more like content around this and even like streams about lighting her in certain ways and painting her and that kind of thing. But yeah, it also is going to come with, these are like handmade as well. These aren't like a 3D print. These are cast, so you get like a physical sketch note. Right, showing you links in the description to sign up to the early access mailing list for all future art drops as well. And you get a 3-hour head start on the general public for this. So you get like a little certificate of authentication. It's legit from me. And you'll get a plain Jane owner only sort of blueprint art print on super high quality photo paper. And the most important of all this, you get stickers. So also one thing, I think I'll be doing this in like every batch. I did a hand painted gouache study of her. Probably can't even see that fantastically well. But that's like a hand painted, and I'm gonna slip that in one of the first batch. Right, this is like the golden ticket. I mean, it doesn't get you anything, but you get that. So it's like a little extra thing. So yeah. Pre-sale dropping later this week, and then she'll be shipping a week after that. So it's going to be a pretty quick sort of turnaround. But yeah, Prashant haven't announced the price yet. Because shipping is still up in the air as well. Because I want to figure out how to do free shipping. I think I figured it out for the first drop. Because this is going to be, hopefully, this is going to kick off the start of future art drops, whether it be prints, whether it be other sculpts, whether it be another batch of her and different things. So yeah, sign up to the mailing list. Links in the description on Instagram. and links in the description on YouTube as well. Is she US and EU only? No, she's worldwide. Worldwide, baby. So she's going everywhere. No restrictions. Legend. Appreciate you, Prashan. Artistic. I want to say the price range, but I don't, because it could change. And I don't want to be like held to something in the past. Once you see it, that's the price for that batch, you know. Because I've had to change things in the past with stuff, and it sucks because I'm like, oh, I said it was this, and now it's gonna be this. So I just want to, when you see it, it is what it is. And I'm figuring out express shipping as well. If you like, as an option, you can have free. So it's going to be free international shipping, free domestic shipping. But if you do want express, you can get that as well. I'm just trying to figure out the Shopify store and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's the main announcement for this stream. Oh, and the Gumroad tutorial, if you do want to check that out, and the Filthy plugin. Links in the description. You want more stuff, you're smart people, you know what to do. But yeah. Now, because back to the drawing, because her leggings are, and it's smooth. Why is Photoshop now working? I'm not going to question it. I'm not going to question it. It's just working. Mixter, have you ever used the orange tool palette for drawing? No. That sounds interesting. G Noble 3D, how you doing? Roy Sowers, did you do the CSS card animations on your site? Looks amazing. I did. So that's like a very custom on benedlin.com. That's custom, which has its benefits and drawbacks. Benefits, I can do whatever the heck I want on it with no, because I've got a background in software development. So I know how to do a fair chunk of things to make it as custom as I want. The downside is it's very custom. So if something goes wrong, I can't just call up support to fix it. I am support. So there's that. So I'm going to play around with this sort of hatching idea. Oh, now Photoshop's just gone and shit itself again. Good times. Okay. So, thinking about following the contour, well, not the contour, the imaginary 3D form of the leg. All right, and we'll fill that in. I'm just experimenting here with ideas, but I see this quite a lot actually. How artists will facet their hatching into like sections, which is cool. Takes a while, but Gino Bull past 2K subs, legend. Congrats. Catch you later, Dylan. So once you make all this like noise, I guess you could call it, then it starts to, well, that's the plan, is that it starts to feel harmonious. There's like one, whatever you'd call it. Maybe it looks all right. I don't know. Roy, tell me about it. It's all fun and games when you say, oh, I'll remember that obscure comment in the code, or like whatever. You're like, yeah, it'll be fine. And then months later, you're like, what the fuck was I meaning by that? So yeah, there's pluses and minuses for the e-commerce stuff, like my store that I'm just doing Shopify. I could mess around with the Shopify API and get it completely custom, but just to start, I'm just gonna do straight Shopify. One thing I do have to figure out for the early access is a password protection on it. So when you sign up to the early access for all future art drops as well, so I'm thinking you're all going to get a head start and you'll get a password. And I'm not sure if this looks any good or not. Maybe we do a crosshatch to show that this is like curving around. Something different, I guess, from like a texture standpoint. Alice, how you doing? Welcome. No reason for custom ecom, so many pre-built solutions. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. For my personal blog, I give myself permission to go crazy with it. Like with I'm not sure if this makes any sense to you, Roy, or if you've heard of like a note-taking app called Obsidian. I'm gonna get nerdy here. But what I've done is I've figured out how to have my blog posts so I can actually write my blog posts in Obsidian, and it's super gross and custom, but it then pulls all the markdown files from the Obsidian vault to then display. And it's done all like through Next.js. So annoying. But the pleasure of just like adding like a new note in Obsidian and then it being a blog post with like just running a script, it is pretty nice. How that scales, I don't know, but I'm not too concerned about that. Now, as with these little lines, right, I want to keep in mind the perspective, because if we're looking at this leg like a cylinder. Mohammed, how you doing? The Art Dojo, what streaming platform do you use to stream to both Instagram and YouTube? I use OBS and I use the vertical plugin. So I'm thinking about this here when I'm adding the texture. And this could be cool to do with like your line work like I'm doing here, or you could do this like with brushwork, which could give it a really cool effect, I think, as well. Yeah, how does that look? Don't love it. I've missed like a whole section here, but you never know if you don't experiment. Maybe do a bit of that crosshatch on the backside here. Sketchy, I follow an artist named Groove who does that sort of styling with hatching. You don't really notice it until you zoom into their art. And I always wonder how they decide where to put them. Yeah, I'll have to check them out. But I'd imagine there's a rhyme and reason to like why and where and how and who. That's kind of cool. Don't love it, don't hate it, something different. But then we could even, in the background, because you got a leg coming back here, could do something like this. So it's like going the opposite. Well, not the opposite, but kind of rushing it at the moment, but yeah, that's cool. Experiment. Obsidian to site is a cool concept. If it doesn't scale Google Docs and Google API, ooh, that's cool, Roy. I like that idea. I was even thinking about I've been playing around with Superbase a while ago, not recently, but I was thinking about just importing all the markdown files and all that sort of stuff and just shooting them to Superbase, and then using the Superbase API just to update everything, so I don't have to keep running commands and then pushing stuff all the time. It's just always pulling from the Superbase API. But again, it's just like time, just the time I don't have. Or the time, okay. I'm not prioritizing that right now. So here, you can see, I'm just adding a bit of shadow, some of that drop shadow. Okay, now let's think about these boots. Le boot. What's the name of this brush? This is called the Long Skinny Line, I believe. Long Skinny Line. You can get it free on my Gumroad. Ray Black, any thoughts on the Apple glasses and how to use them? Ooh, my thoughts. I want a pair. My other thoughts. My bank account would not enjoy that. But from like a sculpting standpoint, like having it in front of you, even from an like a video editing standpoint, where you can just have as big a screen as you want, and just being able to work like that would be amazing. And you can like attach things to walls, so you can have like art everywhere that you wouldn't usually have. Like I can have like a Monet right here if I wanted to, so when I look around I'm like, ooh, Monet or whatever. Like it's they've unlocked something that I think is going to be huge moving forward. Like I think the need for like monitors and like multiple monitors, because I've got like 3 screens going on right now, the need for that is going to be less and less and less, I think, as the prices get more and more affordable. I think. I could be completely wrong. So here I'm just trying to break down, like I'm not really looking at the reference too closely. I'm just trying to break down what would the boot look like in perspective. You know, like that's a pretty big boot. So I think I might make it a little bit smaller, and just to fit with the character a little bit, and make us see a little bit more of the top of the boot as well. Something like that. Nah, something's off. That's okay. Something's always going to be off until we just tweak it and tweak it and tweak it. That's fine for now. Navda. I think you mean monetas. Okay. Sun Guns, you've got competition here for the pun master. Been practicing using the teal and orange palette in my art. I reckon I might give that a shot, actually. I want to try different palettes. I think that'll be good fun. Have you tried painting in VR with Quill? I haven't tried painting in VR. I've sculpted in VR. And that's amazing. That's freaking awesome. Just being able to scale it up to whatever size or scale it down and then look at it. For even like industrial design and stuff, it's a game changer. It's amazing. Okay, let's have a... Can't try. Jesus Christ, bing bing wahoo. Roy Sowers, artists that also do software is dangerous. Oh, a problem? I can do this myself just to realize it wasn't that important. That's the biggest issue, right? Is picking your battles. Like, it is dangerous. But with stuff like Copilot, and like, it's from a time perspective, it could potentially take less time. Let's see if we can frame her. So yeah, I think I've landed on I'm gonna do separate traditional streams. So we're gonna do at least I'm going to play around with doing like, yeah, a stream that's just traditional work. So whoever's interested in that, they can hop in. But whoever's just interested in the traditional, they can hop in with that. But I will suggest that you could get a lot out of both, because it's the principles, you know, they're the same. Light is light, color is color. Frustration is frustration. Happens with any medium. So that just makes it pop even more, and we can really see this silhouette. Sloppy with the feet because they're not in the whatever it's called. I didn't choose the gradient. I chose the paint bucket. Thank you. There. Oh no, I can't be sloppy with the feet because I need to come in here and because it's always grey, it's not white. Okay, yeah, we got to come through and clean this up. Oh well. Cool. And the hair just sort of come through. Whip it around a little bit, make it interesting, some flyaways, whatever. Cool. Hon wee wee, the pant texture. Debbie, are you familiar with the Apelle's palette technique. No. Hey, thumb guns. That's cool. She's getting groceries. Maybe that's her car. Maybe we inadvertently made like a scene. Like, all right, it's like a story. She's scooting down. To the shops to get her whatever. But I really like the mix of this stylized stuff with the more painterly whatever. Like, I'm going to explore that a lot more. Oh. Mr. B, I appreciate you. My favorite VR sculpting program is ShapeLab. Adobe Medium is kind of frustrating for me. I'll have to check them out. The real beauty of traditional painting is the texture, in my humble opinion. I agree. Even like a couple of streams back where we just put a wash down, just in gouache, and then put it into Photoshop. I mean, you got the texture already, and then people like are searching for the best like traditional texture brush, and it's just there. It's awesome. Sketchy. I could, of course, honestly just need to work on it more often. I get so scared to put my characters in interesting poses in fear of it looking terribly off, but I've been trying to work on it. I would start to think about less about your characters in interesting poses and simple shapes in interesting poses, or just simple shapes in space. As soon as I started to think less about this is a leg, this is an arm, this is a torso, and more about, okay, this is this is just like a blob or like a shape in 3D space. This is, you know what I mean? That started to really help me out. She's picking up a video from Blockbusters. Oh, I like that. I like that nostalgia. She's looking in the trunk for something important. That's a good one. Super. Because the trunk could be like up there. Very nice. I like it. Mark of Art, how you doing? I tried to mix the painterly and graphic with my digital stuff too. Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah, we like the, what is it? Graphic minimalism or whatever it is. Yeah. Maybe she's reminiscing about the time she could afford food because she bought the car as an impulse purchase. True. Maybe she's living out of her car. Who knows? Super 3D Crafts, how you doing? Welcome. Lauren, welcome. Graphical reduction, that's the one. So this is what inspiration time. Let's have a look at what is graphical reduction. Rob Rapper. This is the bee's knees. Like, oh, look at this. Ah, lovely, a sign up. I just want the image. Open the image. Open the image. Open the fucking image. Come on. This sort of stuff. Yeah, except whatever. Like, this is phenomenal. And it can be done in gouache, in oils, in whatever. But like this especially. Like, this is awesome. Because you can like almost feel the heat of the road, or like, you know what I mean? That sounds wanky, but you know what I mean? You can like feel like you're there. But then you zoom right in and let's have a look. Like, you zoom right in and it's just like little blocks of texture. Like, it's so freaking cool. Like, this is a huge inspiration for even just these little car sort of experiments. Like the light on here, Like, holy frick. And the wonkiness of it all. Yep. It's awesome. And this can be achieved in gouache, in oils, like in traditional as well. It's not like a digital trick. It's just values. Because if we just took this, I'm going to have to do so. Okay, show me your image. Alright, inspect element. Let's hacking time. There we go. This should work. There we go, thank you. So if we brought this into here up, I mean, this doesn't happen fast either. This is like quite a long time, like really cutting out the shapes and whatever, but black and white, it reads perfectly well. Like, it's awesome. But you can get so much with so little, and I think that's what's more interesting. Like, even the little details here, right? You might just do that as a block of shape with the shadow, but the windows are translucent, so they're going to be a different value on this shadow of the car. Like, it's just little stuff like that, really just, I love it. And you can see that here, what I'm trying to do, just, I mean, this is scribbly and it's sort of fast, but even the clouds, anyway, I digress. Oh, all right, I might head off in, say, 5 to 10 minutes. I'll just catch up with chat. Maybe she's packing the trunk to move or go on a journey and leaving her hometown behind, potentially. See, just with this, just with this illustration, yeah, we used a reference, but it's like now we've got this combined with this. Like, you could make whatever you want up. Debbie, traditional painting method, you're grabbing a limited range of colors for the palette instead of super vibrant ones. It's supposed to make the piece feel more mature. Yeah, you've got the like the Zorn palette and like limited palettes and stuff. I like that. I really want to like do poppy color stuff. So I might do like the limited palette and then just add like like colors in there, because really I start off with 3 colors with the gouache. It's what is it? I think it's like Prussian, or it's like a blue, a lemon yellow, and a quinacridone magenta. Right, those 3, and those what make up all the colors of this. Those are what make up all the colors of this, you know. So it's when you do the sort of limited palette stuff, it does harmonize it, definitely. Sketchy, me too. I love it. Yeah, rod line, definitely like matte paintings. Sounds good, Mark. All right, well, look, without further ado, I reckon I might leave it there. I've got some work to do, my friends. But before we go, real quick, Plain Jane, mentioned it before, should be dropping very, very soon. Sign up to the early bird newsletter to be notified of when the drop's available. You get a 3-hour head start on the general population. And if you like this stylized stuff, let me just whip a couple of links at your face, if that's all right. Really quick. So the stylized character tutorial, 8 hours, 10 chapters of instruction, walking you through how I go about drawing this fella. Right, but not only that, can you tell I've said this a few times? Not only that, not only the videos, you also get 3D models to learn from, right? You also get a 40-page PDF field guide, so you can actually read along with the tutorials if you're having trouble, or if you just don't want to watch it, or you want some extra stuff just to have on your iPad or whatever. You get that as well. So check that one out. Secondly, Filthy Photoshop plugin. All right. If Photoshop works for you, unlike it did for me, but that's my fault with my setup, auto-filling selections, but it's not just auto-filling selections, it's allows you to do hue shifts on each subsequent sort of shape that you make, and you can do luminance lock. So if you want a particular value, but you want it to like jitter the colors around, it can you can do that as well. And we're fixing up some UI stuff with the latest Photoshop release as well. So be on the lookout for that if you've already got it. And I guess last but not least, the podcast. Make now, think later. Podcast about content creation, business stuff. I love the business side of things. I love the analytics. I love diving deep. I do that with my good friend Francis, who helped with the Filthy plugin as well. So we talk of all things content, business, figuring this game out, which is good fun. So with that out of the way, I'll just catch up with chat. Thanks, man. Awesome stream. Appreciate you, Sketchy. Thanks for popping in, Super. Oh. Appreciate you, Mark, Melody, Prashan, Julia, Cyclone. I'll catch you guys next week, same time, 10:45 a.m. Australian Central Daylight Time, 4 p.m. PST. Now, thank you, Sandy. We need an affiliate program for Filthy. We do. Good call, Roy. I'll have a chat to Francis about setting that up. It's pretty simple through Gumroad, I think. But yeah, look out for that. Fulton, happy birthday. Thanks for popping in. Catch you later, Ray. All right. Have a good one, guys. Hope you have a fantastic week. And I'll catch you in the next one. Toodaloo.